Okay, so let it start, or yeah, I think it is. All right,
Start.
so hello everyone. Yeah, thank you. So, all right, so hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today at this Global AI Bootcamp 2025 Delhi edition. Thank you very much for all the organizers for organizing this, and we are pretty much excited to showcase our session on declarative agents. Okay, so right now, everywhere you see, we do have agents, we do have copilots. So in any Microsoft product that you take, it could be Microsoft Office app, it could be Microsoft Azure, Dynamics 365, SharePoint. Everywhere we have got agent. And then when we talk about this agent, there are multiple ways by which we'll be able to create those agents. So not necessarily you need to have programming knowledge or coding knowledge to create those agent. So there are both the ways, like you can use Azure AI Foundry with some Python coding, with Semantic Kernel, AutoGen AI, and many more options to create your agents. Secondly, for example, if you are a low code, no code kind of an developers who just want to maybe do something with drag and drop kind of an experience, then we do have Copilot Studio. But today that we are going to talk about entirely no code kind of an approach, which is a declarative agent. But again, there is a disclaimer that I'm going to cover both the ways. I'm going to show you, or at least we are going to show you both the ways by which you will be able to create those declarative agents. So firstly, we will show without coding. And secondly, that we will show like using Teams Toolkit, how you will be able to create those. So now that even now we are going to see like what is mean by declarative agents and everything. But I guess hope that sets the expectation for this session, like what we are going to cover. All right, so quick introduction of myself. I'm Nanddeep based out of Pune, India, Microsoft MVP as well as Microsoft Certified Trainer, as well as author of these three books on SharePoint Framework, SharePoint Hybrid with SharePoint 2019, as well as Viva Connections. So, and onto the right hand side, here are a few of my social media handles to get in touch with me. If in case you want to discuss out further, you can do that. And just one announcement, probably first public announcement that I am doing in this session is that we have published our course on Udemy for SharePoint framework. So I will be sharing some discount codes and everything soon onto the LinkedIn so that you will be able to take a benefit of this. So this one is almost 11 hours of course, which will help you to build the solutions on SharePoint, specifically using SharePoint framework. All right, so stay tuned for that announcement on my LinkedIn. All right, so with that, with me, I do have Smita.
Hello, all. Myself Smita Nachan. Greetings from Pune, India. I'm from Pune. I'm having total 16 plus years of experience. Currently working as a technical architect in M365 area. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm author of these two books, and these are some of my social handles by which you can get in touch with me.
All right, so now that let's talk about the agenda, what we are going to cover in this session. So we are going to keep it very simple at the start. We are going to go into the no code kind of an experience, like how you will be able to create the agents with SharePoint, because SharePoint is a thing which we have been using for more than 2 decades now, and then it is a part of our life. All of the content management as well as collaboration that we do, mostly organizations they use SharePoint. So now that even Microsoft has released agents for SharePoint, it is generally available. So even you will be able to use that. But here, just that you will need Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So we are going to look into that. What are those SharePoint agent, and then declarative agents for SharePoint, how to create them. Then after we are going to switch the gears, and then probably we'll see with the coding kind of an experience how we will be able to create those declarative agents for Microsoft 365 with Teams Toolkit. Okay. And then once we create those declarative agents, we will see what are the data sources that we will be able to connect to. So there are various data sources. For example, you have got files or information into SharePoint or OneDrive. Maybe you have something which is using Graph connector. You probably have um, got the information or content from the external sources or external systems into your Microsoft 365. You have it indexed. So now how to use that for your agents, and then we will also see like how to build a declarative agent with plugins. So I don't think we'll be able to cover that, but let's see if in case we can. All right, so now that let's talk about the SharePoint agents. Like As I said, we have been using SharePoint for more than 2 decades now. So how we can go ahead create the agents kind of an experience for SharePoint.
So the SharePoint agents are intelligent assistants or autonomous services built to interact with the SharePoint data and perform the task or the answers your users' queries. So this can be powered by Microsoft Copilot, Azure AI, for example, Semantic Kernel, or the Power Automate, Power Apps Logic, and depending on the use cases. So they operate similarly to copilots and bots, processing the user prompts, running the logic, and surfacing the result from the SharePoint list, libraries, metadata, or the content. So there are different types of agents available in a SharePoint, like a search agent. Then there are different more agents also available, and over there you can just do this technology use like Azure Cognitive Search you can use. Then you can just go with the Power Automate, Semantic Kernel, Microsoft Copilot also you can use. So now let's check for this agent. So every SharePoint site comes with the Copilot. Over here on the right hand side, you can see one picture also. So the anyone with the edit permission can create the copilots from a SharePoint in a very few clicks. So over here, the minimum requirement is you need edit permission. Then only you will able to create these copilots. Okay, and then you can just share your custom copilots with your team also, and then you can do the integration with this Microsoft Copilot Studio. So with that, let's go ahead and check the demo for this one. So we will show you how you can just create your agent in document library.
All right. So now that I'm into my SharePoint site, so this is my SharePoint site, and I do have a site called as Copilot demo. Let me just go into site contents. I'm just going to make you aware of how simply these declarative agents can be created, and then we are going to see like what are the use cases that probably you can build around those. So as an example, here you can see that I do have various resumes here. So these are various resumes that I have got, bunch of resumes, and each of them they are with various languages. So here you can see that it is obviously not English. I'm not sure which language is this, but we do have all those resumes with various languages, including English as well as non-English. So we are just going to see like, for example, when we have data sources like this, how the Copilot will be helpful for us. All right. So, okay. So what I'm going to do here is that probably let me just delete this one, which I had created previously, and then I can create a new one. Okay. All right. So first thing is every SharePoint site has got a Copilot. So you can just click here to see all of the Copilots which are available for you, or these agents which are available for you, or you can start with create an agent. Once you click that, by default, the agent will be created onto your entire document library. So that means containing all of the files, all of the data from here. At the same time, for example, if you want to selectively create agent on few of the files, you can do that as well. So here you can see that I'm selecting few of the files and I will click create agent. And this agent will be created, or this one will be using that rack pattern on only those 5 files. Okay. So what we are going to do now is that probably let us make an agent for the entire document library called as resumes. So I'm just going to click agent, and we are going to get a reference of entire resumes folder. And that's it. Our agent is ready. Okay. So let us go ahead, open the agent. So probably you must have seen that it is just one click, and then we were able to create the agent. Okay, right. Okay, so my agent is ready now. So it is taking some time. Okay, probably my internet or just a glitch. Okay, all right. Okay, so it is coming up now. Uh, oops. Just give me one moment. Probably something wrong with my system. Just give me one moment. Let me just delete this and we will create it one more time. Probably I had multiple agents created previously, so that was the issue. Okay, so I'm just going to create an agent. We are going to select the entire document library here, and just click open agent, and that's it. Your agent is entirely ready. Okay, so what is mean by this is you will be able to ask the questions on top of the information which is available onto this SharePoint site. Okay, so let me just do one thing. Let me just probably refresh this page Could be my internet or something wrong with the tenant. Okay, all right. So let me just create an agent one more time. Click select this and then click open agent. So here you can see that our agent is ready now. Okay, hopefully it should come. Okay, looks like demo god is not with me today. All right. So until this comes up, I can just cover the theory part. Once this agent is ready, we will be able to use this onto the RAG for asking the questions on top of the information that we have got. Let me just do one thing. Probably let me just try to open up that here inside of my virtual machine. Probably that could be more faster. Maybe some caching issue onto my local machine. Okay, that agent was already there. Probably let us go ahead and try to open up that agent. So here you can see that the agent is ready now, and then we will be able to use this agent to ask the questions. Okay, so probably we can ask like um, suggest candidate with SQL experience. Okay, so all right. So what it should do is it should go or look for entire resumes that we have got here, and then it should give me all of the documents that contains the relevant data. So here obviously you can see that there are few candidates which are available, and not necessarily that information is available in English format. So probably you must have seen when I open up those resumes, they were not in English, but you can see the capabilities of this agent, like it can work on multiple languages as well. So this was the very basic demo of how we can do that. At the same time, for example, once you open up the agent, you will be able to edit this agent as well. So that means you will be able to make the changes here. Even so, what you can do is you can just click these three dots at the top, click edit agent, and then you will be able to make a name change for this agent, give a good description, so that when we will go for the autonomous agent kind of a thing, this particular agent can be invoked by other agents as well. This is the place where you will be able to add some sources. For example, right now we have added this resumes, but if in case you want to add further sources, you will be able to do that. Behavior is the major important thing for any agent, because we are we are kind of an giving agent the instructions about what it should do and what it should not do. So here is the welcome message. So welcome message will be the one that will just give your user information about what that agent has got, what are the capabilities of that agent, so they can read it out and then they will be able to use it. Now that when your end users, they are using the agent, obviously they need some kind of an startup prompts, so that they will know like what kind of an prompts they can use to have a discussion with this agent. So you will be able to specify all those starter prompts here. Okay, so for example, uh, I will again say like suggest candidates with 7+ years of experience. Okay, so let's say for example we are building this kind of an agent okay, for our HR team. In that case, if in case they are using common kind of queries or the common kind of prompts every time, we'll be able to use them as a starter prompt, and wherever it is shown, they will be able to use that. Okay. Another thing is instruction for the agent. So here you can describe like what this agent should do, what it should not do. So here you can see that it should reply into the formal tone. If in case you don't like any person, probably you can play with this instruction and maybe play a game with them. All right. So these are the instructions which will define the behavior for that agent, and then that's it. You can save. And again, there is a capability that you will be able to add the advanced customizations in Copilot Studio, but it is not yet available. So this feature should be available soon, so that you can start with creating an agent in SharePoint and then extend it further in Copilot Studio. All right. So that was a very quick demo about how we can create the agent. But now that let's go into one of the use case. So there was a SharePoint hackathon which happened in the month of March. So me and Smita participated there to showcase our concept of this SharePoint agent, which is an intelligent SharePoint assistant that helps users to quickly access the essential information about SharePoint site within your organization. So we are just going to showcase that to you now.
So before that, Let's have an overview of this one. So it helps the user to quickly access any critical SharePoint site information without navigating the admin center. And it retrieves the SharePoint site details, including the owner, creation date, storage usage, as well as the external sharing status. So it uses a friendly and professional tone to assist the user effectively. Now let's see what are the challenges solved with this one. So SharePoint Insights Agents addresses the several challenges faced by the SharePoint users as well as the administrators. So the first one is to reduce the admin dependency. So users no longer need to navigate to SharePoint admin center for any basic site details. Also, it provides a quick access to information like provide instant responses, reducing the time spent searching for a site related data. Also, it's improved the site management. So it helps the administrators to track the site ownership, storage usage, and external sharing status efficiently. It enhances the security awareness as well. So identifies the external shared sites, allowing the organizations to take the necessary action on that list. Also streamline the troubleshooting. So users can quickly verify the site details, reducing the support request and operational overhead. It's resulting in the cost and time saving for the organizations. Now let's go ahead and see for this agent behavior. So the agent provides factual responses based on the latest available data. So if a site does not exist or the information is missing, it will inform the users and suggest alternative ways to find the data. Also, the agents ensure the responses are accurate and does not provide any speculative answers. It also remains a helpful and the professional tone while interacting with the users. So the next one is I would like to show the architecture diagram of this agent, how it works exactly. So in a SharePoint, there is a hidden list that is the do not delete this SP list tenant admin aggregated site collection. So it is a hidden SharePoint online list that exists within the SharePoint admin environment. So it serves as an aggregated site collection inventory containing the metadata about all the SharePoint sites within Microsoft 365 tenant. So the list is a primarily used to centralize the site collection information and assist in administration and reporting tasks, provide the essential details about the sites without recurring direct API calls or the PowerShell scripts. So the list contains various attributes related to SharePoint site collection. Some of the limitations that the data might not be real time as it periodically refreshed by Microsoft. However, using a Power Automate schedule flow, we can keep this data refreshed at a regular interval. So with that, let's go ahead and check the demo for this SharePoint Insights agent.
All right, so now that we're going to cover in detail like how this entire thing works. So let's say, for example, if I go back to my SharePoint and let's say I will go into the SharePoint admin center. Most of the challenge that we get always when we are using SharePoint is to find out who is the site collection admin for a specific site. Okay, so what happens generally is we need access to any of the SharePoint site. We go to that site, but we don't have access. So there is just a button called as request access. That's it. Okay, and we are not sure like who is the user. So let's say for example this is the site that we have got where Smita is primary admin. Now that I have logged in with my user, so I will just go ahead, open up this site, and then here you can see that we get this normal message saying that you need permission to access this site. But I don't know like who is the owner of this site. For example, if I know who is the owner of that site, probably I can go ahead, um, have a word with that owner, and then I will be able to resolve this access issue faster. Okay. Another thing is like, let's say for example, I am the owner of one of the sites. So let's say for example, this is the site where I'm owner of, but I don't know like what is the storage capacity which is allocated to this site. At the same time, what is the storage being utilized by this site? Because until and unless I do have access to the SharePoint admin center, I won't be able to get the basic details. We can do that from the site storage matrix as well, but again, it is bit tedious. Not all of the users they will be able to use. So these are few of the challenges that we have got with data into SharePoint, like who is the owner of the site. Probably I want to know about a particular site, or probably how much storage is being used by any of the site, or many, or like how many sites are externally shared. Okay, because until and unless we go into the configuration of that site, we don't know like how many sites are externally shared. So now that we are using Copilot, and since we are using Copilot's agent, we need to make sure that our information, our data remains secure. There should not be oversharing of the data. For example, if it is, there are likely chances that the external user they might be able to use that data, right? So until and unless we know which are those sites which are externally shared, we won't be able to take that decision. So as a normal, for example, if you consider that, for example, if we don't have agent, what we can do is we can probably create a PowerShell script which can go through all of the SharePoint site and then find out what is the external sharing setting which is being set onto that site. But again, this is a tedious operation. We cannot keep performing this operation every day. Okay, and that is the reason where this particular list comes very handy, because this list periodically gets updated by SharePoint. This is a hidden list available onto the SharePoint admin center, but this list gets periodically updated. Now that what we do from here is that, let me just show you how the information in that list looks like. Just give me a moment. All right. So whenever you will use CSV, or at least whenever you will extract the data from that CSV, this is how that information will look like. Like for example, there are multiple columns which are available in that list. So here you can see that allow which users created that site, the external sharing, file viewed or edited, and many more information that we have got here. Okay, which is a huge information that we have got. And for example, if we can give our copilot or our agents capability to use this data source, we will be solving most of our challenges our SharePoint users have. For example, who is the owner? What is the size of my SharePoint site? Is my SharePoint site externally stored or externally shared and everything? So, for example, if somehow we will be able to use this data source, we will be able to give our agent that capability or that power to use this information effectively and answer the user queries. So now that this particular information is available in CSV, obviously agents, the SharePoint agents as of now, they cannot process the CSV. For example, if we have been using Azure Foundry, we can probably store this CSV into any of the Azure storage, or maybe any of the Cosmos DB, and from there we will be able to create an agent. But now that probably we don't need to add additional cost there by introducing Azure resources, we want to keep it pretty much simple. So what we can do here is like we can again take a help of Copilot, and we can give it a prompt saying like, help me convert this data which is into this CSV file which I just have shown to the text format, one line per CSV item, to cover all of the CSV columns. Okay, so that means we want this particular CSV information should be converted into a human readable format, into a sentence. And once we have that information, even agents, our SharePoint agents, will be able to use that information. And then the output of that is nothing but this Word file. Okay, so let me just show you how that Word file looks like. So let me just open up that Word file, and this is how the Word file looks like. Let me just pull it here. So this is how the Word file look like. So here you can see that each CSV item has been translated into a one liner. For example, name of the site is app catalog, created by me, created on this particular date, who is the owner, storage use, and everything. Okay, so that means we have this information into a kind of human readable form which can be processed by our agent. And now that we are going to see, like, if we have this huge data, how our agent can process this data and answer the questions. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is let me just go into one of the site where we have this SharePoint Insights agent created. So let me just go here, So this is the site where we have our SharePoint Insights agent created. Let me go into the site contents as it loads, and then that particular Word file has been stored into the document library of this SharePoint site. So here you can see that we do have this documents library, and inside of this we do have that SharePoint Insights docx, which is nothing but the same file which I have shown you. So that means we are making use of Copilot to translate that CSV into this file, which can be processed by human as well as by the agent. So with that, let us open the agent that we have created. So we know like how to create the agent. So probably I will not spend time in again showing like how to create that agent, but this is the agent that we have got. And then from here you can see that we do have certain prompts. So we do have some welcome message like enhance your productivity with this agent, and then you can keep asking it a question related to your SharePoint, and then it can use that to give you the answer. These are few of the starter prompts which are available. For example, who is the owner of site XYZ? XYZ is a placeholder that probably you can replace with the actual SharePoint site user. Okay, or sorry, SharePoint site name. And then again, for example, if you ask like tell me about site XYZ, it can give you the entire information about that particular site. And then again, how much storage is being used by that site, it can give you all the information. So let us see like how this one works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this starter prompt, who is the owner of site XYZ. Obviously I don't have any site with XYZ, but what I'm going to do is probably, let me just again go back here, and probably here we have got free words. So what I'm going to do is like when I open this site, I was not able to access this particular site, and I got this error saying that I need permission to access this site. So instead of me reaching to multiple people, reaching to SharePoint admin to see like who is the owner of that, I can simply use this agent. So I can just type like who is the uh, owner of this site Freebirds. Okay, so let me just copy this so that I will be able to use it further. All right. So what it can do is we have already augmented this agent with the data from that SharePoint document that we have got into the SharePoint document library, which is based out of that CSV. And from here you can see that this is the information that it is mentioning. So this is the site which was created by Isha, and then again there is external sharing which is being on, and the last activity on that site is something this. Now that for example, if you ask like tell me about site Freebirds, it is going to give you the information about that entire site, like who created, when it was created, and everything. So it is going to give you all that information. Now that, for example, if you also ask like how many sites are externally shared, because we are talking about agents, and obviously when the information is easily accessible to our users, more specifically for the external users, they will be able to use the agent or Copilot kind of an capabilities to surface the information on top of that. So for that reason, let's say from the security point of view, we want to know like how many sites are externally shared. So we can just give this a prompt, and then we can check like it is able to get the entire information like how many sites are being externally shared. Okay, and then so here you can see that it is able to give us more information about that. So these are the sites which are externally shared. Okay, so that means I don't need to write PowerShell script, a huge PowerShell script to go through the entire information, like how it works, and probably I don't need to rely on to the administrator or even a developer to write those PowerShell, but I can use this agent to do that. Okay, so this is kind of an information that we can get there. So now that for example, if in case we want to just know like okay, I won't be able to stop this, let us wait. All right, okay, so these are the huge number of sites that we have got, and then as a SharePoint administrator, you can take action on this to see like whether the external sharing should be allowed on these sites. If no, then probably you can turn it off, and then you will be able to do the data security at your end just by using these agents. Okay. All right, so let it run. So this is a basic kind of a thing, but a very useful one. This is one of the use cases that we had presented during the SharePoint hackathon which just had happened in the month of March. Okay, so this was our submission. All right, so now that we have seen the simplest way of using the no code kind of an approach, how to create those SharePoint agent. But now that for the developers in you, probably who want to extend this kind of an capabilities and want to know more about how we'll be able to create our customized agent, because obviously we can use this kind of an agent to do that. But okay, let me just show you one more thing as well. So let me close this down, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download this file. Okay, so let me just download this file. So this is the file which is downloaded, and probably not sure what kind of an information that we have got. So probably until I open this file, probably you can make some guesses what could be the information in this agent. Okay, so obviously this is the information that we have got there. Let me, okay, I don't have the formatter here, but okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just copy, and then probably onto my host machine I might have it. But okay, let it be. We will not install the formatter, but simply this is an agent which is a JSON based configuration. And here you can see that all of the conversation starters, as well as all of the prompt, as well as all of the instructions, they are being stored here in the form of this JSON. Okay, so this is nothing but a JSON based configuration which help us to execute the certain instructions against our agents into the SharePoint. Okay, so this is a simple JSON based agent which are doing the trick. But now that let us switch the gear and see, like for example, if we want to create the agents using a programmatic way, what are the options that are available to us? All right, so with that, let's talk about the declarative agents for SharePoint and again in general.
So these declarative agents are the AI-driven assistants that operate based on what needs to be done rather than how to do it. So these declarative agents are the game changer in the way we design and interact with these AI-powered copilots. So let's see the imperative versus the declarative approach. So to understand the declarative agents, let's first distinguish between these two fundamentals programming. One is the imperative and another one is the declarative approaches. So the imperative approach, that is the traditionally when we build the software or the AI system, we follow an imperative approach. This means we explicitly define how a system should perform a task step by step. So think of this like a writing flow in a strict sequence. When it comes to the declarative approach, on the other hand, the declarative approach focuses on defining what needs to be done rather than how to do it. So instead of the micromanaging every step, we specify the desired outcomes and let the system determines the best way to achieve them. So when we apply this concept to AI, especially within the Microsoft ecosystem, we unlock the powerful automation capabilities without the complex coding. So you can just do this crafting your own copilot with declarative agent. So with declarative agents, you can build your own AI powered copilot by simply declaring the instructions, actions, as well as the knowledge. So this means with declarative agents, what you can do is you can define what the AI should know. You can specify the high level instructions it should follow. You configure the actions that the AI should take when responding to users. So instead of writing the complex code or manually handling the workflows, declarative agents allows you to craft these AI-driven experiences in a way that is scalable, reusable, as well as easy to manage. Let's say, for example, imagine you're building a help desk assistant inside Microsoft Teams. So, in an imperative approach, you would manually code every workflow and a condition. And with the declarative agent, you can define the knowledge base, set the rules, configure the responses, allowing a so this approach is particularly useful when integrating AI into the business processes where the workflows need to be flexible and adaptable to changing the data. So let's see the benefits of this declarative agent. So why should organization adopt the declarative agents for building the AI powered copilots? So let's look over here the benefits. For business users and non-developers can define the AI behavior without the deep programming knowledge. It also reduces the complexity by allowing the users to specify what needs to be achieved instead of writing how it should be done. The second key benefits is the scalability. So the declarative agents make it easier to scale the AI solutions across an enterprise. So you can update the instructions and knowledge dynamically without rewriting the code. The third benefit is focus on the business logic. So instead of the spending time on the technical implementations, the team can focus on the core business processes and improving the AI driven decision making. So in short, these declarative agents are these revolutioning things, the way we build these AI solutions by the shifting from the imperative programming to the declarative AI, we empower organizations to quickly deploy the intelligent copilots and understand the context, automate the workflows, and drive it efficiency. So, with that, let's go ahead and check the demo.
All right, so now that we are going to go into the demo, a basic demo, for example, even if in case you do not have a vast experience in programming, that is fine. Um, because for example, even if in case you just have got Visual Studio Code, you will be able to build out your declarative agents. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to build the declarative agents for Microsoft 365 with Teams Toolkit. So Teams Toolkit is again one of the tool which is available from Microsoft, which is a open source, and then it help you to create the applications on top of Microsoft Teams, even Microsoft 365. Okay, so let me just show you how the Teams toolkit look like, its documentation, and then again we are going to see like how Teams toolkit can be used. So, for example, you can get more information about this Teams toolkit from here. So, Teams toolkit is a tool by which you will be able to create various apps, bots. For example, you can create a personal app, you can create a chatbot, even you can create a messaging extension, even you can create agents, declarative agents with this. So you can see that we are able to we can from here sign into the Microsoft 365 as well as to the Azure, so that we can develop our applications on top of Microsoft 365, as well as provision the needed resources in Microsoft Azure, and then we can use them with the manifest that we have got into our Microsoft Teams application. Okay, so these are the things that we can use. Again, with Teams Toolkit for Visual Studio Code, you can use the JavaScript, TypeScript, or even you can develop the applications for React as well as SharePoint framework. Okay, so these are a few of the templates which are available, which we are going to see as well. All right, so these are a few of the examples that we can create. For example, we can create an agent, custom engine agent. Custom engine agent, that means we can use Teams AI library to work with the Azure AI Foundry and many more. Again, we can create a bot, tab, messaging extension, and Outlook add-in. Again, one thing to note here is that, for example, if you are creating a messaging extension, that means yes, you can use it as a Copilot agent as well. Okay, but now that let us keep it simple, and we will see like how to create those agents using Teams Toolkit. When we create that particular agent, I just want to compare that with cooking the instant noodles. So to all of the um, chefs or all of the cooks who are joining us today, probably you must have cooked the noodles or Maggie. So what we do there is like we simply get a bowl, boil the water, we add the noodles to the pot, we follow the step-by-step instructions which is written there to add the masalas and all those spices on top of it, and then that's it, we eat the Maggie. Okay, so what Maggie claims, or at least what instant noodles claim, is you can create that instant noodle in just 2 minutes. Okay, so again, there are prerequisites. Obviously, you need to have gas, you need to have water and everything, which is kind of a prerequisite, which is assumed. So same way, I'm going to assume that we have certain prerequisites. For example, Microsoft 365 subscription, Microsoft Copilot license, Teams Toolkit installed onto your machine, and that's it. So if in case you have this thing, you will be able to create the Copilot agent even faster than cooking your instant noodle. Okay, so even I do have detailed blog onto this, so you can follow that step by step instructions, or maybe you can rewatch the recording to get it done. All right, so what we're going to do now is that let us go into the Visual Studio Code. So this is the Visual Studio Code, which is a lighter version, free version. So that means you don't need any licenses to work with Visual Studio Code. With Visual Studio Code, we have got certain extensions. Okay, so onto the left hand side here, you can see that we have got extensions. So for example, if you're using GitHub Copilot, or if in case you're using Azure App Services, those are nothing but the extensions that you can install in your Visual Studio Code to work with your codes. Similarly, we have got another extension called as Teams Toolkit. Okay, so I will just search for Teams Toolkit. I already have it installed, so it will say me that I have installed it already. But uh, when you will start, obviously you will not have it installed, so you can get it installed from here. So just search for Teams Toolkit. There will be install menu. Click that, and then you will be able to install that Teams Toolkit. Once the Teams Toolkit has been installed, you will be able to see that into your left menu. So here you can see that we have this Teams Toolkit available. Once you click this Teams Toolkit, these are various options that we can use. For example, we can build a notification bot, we can build a declarative agent directly, which is a guided tutorial. So for example, if you go here, it will show you the entire guided tutorials, like how to create the declarative agents and everything. But probably I will not go through that tutorial. We will go ahead and create the app. Again, for example, if you want to see the samples, you can click, and then there are various samples available as well, which you can use as a reference and extend it further. So for example, Teams SharePoint or Teams app with SSO enabled, you will be able to use this. So that means at any time you are not starting from the clean slate, but you will have some guided information available from Teams Toolkit, which you can use and then extend further on top of it. Now that, let us go ahead and try to create a new app. And then here you can see that we can create a declarative agent, we can create a custom engine agent, we can create a bot tab. Messaging extension is again like, if you have a messaging extension, you already have a Copilot or agent for you. You can create a Office add-in as well. So for today's subject, we are going to create declarative agent. Okay, so this is a declarative agent that we are going to use. And here probably you can see that we do have action and no action. So for example, if we select no action, that means it will create a declarative agent only. And then for example, if we choose this option, it is going to give some kind of an action. So that means probably adding something to your database, or maybe getting some information based on ID and all those things. So we are going to keep it simple to start with, and we will say um, no, uh, no action. All right, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to store this project into this test folder that I have created, and that's it. And what we are going to do now is that we are going to create a declarative agent which will help you to test your geography knowledge. Okay, so I'm just going to call it as a geography knowledge copilot, or probably we can call it as an agent, because we normally refer to them as agent now. So this is a geography knowledge agent which will help you to test your knowledge on geography. Okay, so you will ask like what kind of a data source that we are going to use, because when I say like we are going to test the knowledge, the first question that comes to mind is which is the data source, which is the question bank that we are going to use here. But don't worry, we are not going to use any question bank here. We are going to simply rely onto the LLM to do all these things. Okay, okay, so now that this particular project has been created, here you can see that we have certain folders. So this is the app package. So this will create a package for you that you can deploy to Microsoft Teams. And here you can see that there is a color PNG, there is outline PNG. So this is nothing but the icon that you will see for your agents. Now that here we have got the declarative agent JSON, so which is defined onto this particular schema, which is v1.3 version 1.3. So this is the name of our agent, this is the description. So probably if in case you want, you can change the description as well, because as I have said, like when we will in the future, when we will move for the autonomous kind of an agent, this description will help us to call one agent from another agent. Okay, so this is the description that we are going to give here. Like this is a geography agent, game declarative agent. Probably let us call it as an agent instead of Copilot. And then again, the instructions. So what you can do is either you can put all the instructions here, or you can make a reference of this instruction txt, and then you can add all of your instructions here. So even in SharePoint agent, we have seen like we can give instruction to our agent that defines the behavior for that agent, like what the agent should do and what it should not do. Okay, so you can define everything, like which kind of a source that it can use, how it should behave, how it should respond to the user queries, and everything that you can do. Now that since we are going to create the geography knowledge agent, I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to okay, just give me one moment. My machine. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to add new instruction here. So let me read through that instruction. So here we are saying like you are a geography knowledge test declarative agent. Then your role is to quiz the players on various geography related topics. For example, countries, capitals, landmarks, and physical features. Um, okay, my machine. Okay, all right. And then again, what it can do is it can provide multiple choice questions or open-ended challenges that match the player's knowledge level. And then again, it can tailor the responses based on the player's answers. So that can offer the hints. For example, you are not able to answer that effectively, it is going to give you the hint or explanation when it is needed. Uh, Again, for example, if the answer is correct, celebrate that correct answer with the fact about that question, emojis and everything. And for example, if the answer is wrong, then maybe gently correct the player with the detailed explanation and enhance the learning. Okay, so this is kind of a behavior that we are adding to our Copilot or this agent. And then again, we say like continuously update the questions and introduce new topics to keep the test engaging and educational. Okay, so this is the only thing that we are going to do. We are not going to do anything else. We are not going to add any data source or anything else. That's it. And again, here we do have got this manifest JSON. So for those who have been working with Microsoft Teams, for example, whenever you are adding the information or adding any app into the Microsoft Teams, obviously there is a manifest associated with that, which defines that particular app. So here you can see that this is the manifest version 1.19, and 1.19 onwards itself, we will be able to use the declarative agent. For example, if your manifest is older, probably you will not be able to see the agent capabilities. Now that here we are adding the information about the developer, like who is the developer who developed this app. For example, if someone wants to know more about that developer or that agency or company or organization or ISV who has created this agent, you can take them to this um, website URL, privacy URL, terms of use, and these are those two icons which I mentioned earlier, which will be shown into your Teams app. And then again, this is the name, the short name as well as the full name that we are going to use for that, and that's it. And here you can see that this is the main thing which let Teams know about this agent. So um, manifest version 1.19 onwards, we have got this capability to create the Copilot agents. So for example, if you have been using the previous manifest file, you will not be able to see that Copilot agent capabilities there. So if in case it is, you just need to increment the version, and then you will be able to use that capabilities. So that's it. So we are going to use this declarative agent. The ID is this declarative agent, and then this is a file which defines like how that particular agent looks like. Okay, so it has got the name, it has got the instructions. So now that we have not added any kind of an data source, we have not included any Q&As, we have not included any knowledge base or anything else, but still we are going to use the capabilities of LLM to answer everything. Okay, so let us see like how this one works. So now that what we are going to do now is that I will again go back to the Teams toolkit. We need to just click on provision so that it will provision this particular app into my teams. But the question is like to which teams. So here at the top you can see that I'm already logged into my tenant. So this is my tenant which I have been using. So you just need to, if you click this logout, it will sign you out from this, and then you will be able to change the tenant. So this is the tenant that I have logged into. So whenever I will make any provisioning, that provisioning will be onto my Microsoft 365 tenant. Whenever I will click deploy, it is going to deploy the resources onto my Azure. Okay, so this is the thing that we have got. And then when I will click publish to organization, it is going to create that app package. But for the Copilot agent, we don't need to do all those things. We can just use this provision and that's it. So here you will be able to see the provisioning process, which is a 5-step kind of a thing it goes through. So which is pretty much quick because we don't have much complications here. So here you can see that it is creating the Teams app, it is building the app package, it is validating the Teams app, it is updating the Teams app, and then again it is acquiring the Microsoft 365 title with the app package. And you can see that it is almost done with that as well. All right, so I think let us wait until this entire process finishes. So let me just go back to Microsoft 365 and show you how the app looks like. Okay, I think let it do. Okay, so now that we will again go back to our Microsoft 365. So let me just refresh this, and then let me again go back to the Copilot. Okay, so this is my Copilot window that we have got, and here you can see that this is the agent that we have got, like geography knowledge agent. So this is the agent that we have created right now. Okay, so this is the deployment which is done, which is a pretty much simple, straightforward deployment. Probably you have not seen a easy deployment than this. Just one click, and your agent is deployed to your Microsoft 365. So let's say, for example, here we have not added any prompts, initial prompts. So I don't know how to interact with this agent, but at least I know that this agent is going to test my knowledge onto the geography. So I will just say hi to this agent, and that's it. It should go into the instructions which is defined into that agent, and then it should some kind of an questions. Okay, so here it is asking like, hello, this is geography knowledge agent. How can I assist you today? Are you interested in testing your geography knowledge or learning something about our world? Okay, yes, we are interested. So I will just say yes, which is a natural language um, that we are going to use. We don't have anything defined, so probably you must have seen like I did not code anything. Like when I say yes, go ahead and show this question. Okay, I did not do anything, and that is where this declarative agents are very much different than the imperative agent. So when I'm writing the imperative agent, I write that logic. For example, when user says show me the question, then only go to the database or go to the knowledge source, show them the question. But here you must have seen that I did not write a single line of code, but this is a declarative kind of an approach. That means I'm just defining what this agent should do. I'm not defining how this agent should do. So I'm leaving that up to the agent how to do about it. So here you can see that which country has largest land area in the world. Okay, even I'm not very much sure on that. If in case you want to answer that in the chat, please go ahead. A, B, C, or D. Okay, probably feel free to answer this. Probably I think it might be Russia. Again, I'm not here to test my knowledge on geography, but this is just a guess. But yeah, that wild guess is correct. So that's correct. Russia is the largest country in the world by land area. If in case you want to ask, like, would you like to guess? I say yes. It is going to give me another question. If in case I say no, that's it. It is going to it is going to stop there. Okay, so obviously we are not going to play KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati here. So I will stop here with this demo. But this give you the capabilities like how the agent can be created without writing a single line of code with pure configurations. Okay, so we did not write single code. Again, for example, if I go back, everything is any sources. Okay,
Sorry
let me
to
just
sorry to interrupt.
let me
Sorry to
also
interrupt.
put the
There is
buffer.
a
Yeah.
discrepancy.
Oh, is it
Yeah, yeah. There is some
now, Miss?
discrepancy in
Are
between.
you able to? Okay, okay. So sorry, Miss. Are you able to see my screen or not yet?
I'm able to see your screen, but the voice, there is some discrepancy. That's what I observed.
Okay. So voice is breaking, is it? Okay. Um,
Yeah.
just give me a moment. All right. So hopefully it is better now
Yes.
or not
Now
yet
it's
still.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better. Okay, sure. Okay, I just moved closer to my internet connection. Let's see if that helps. All right. So now that, for example, if you don't want to use this, you can simply click those three dots, click uninstall, and this particular agent will be uninstalled from your Microsoft 365 environment. Okay. So again, here I see I do have multiple such agents. But okay, so now that let us come back to our slides and then what are the other kind of agents that we will be able to build here. First thing is again, we have seen like how to build this agent with Teams Toolkit. Now that probably let us see quickly like how we can add the SharePoint or OneDrive kind of sources to SharePoint Copilot Declarative Agent. Okay, so let's say for example, we have some information into the SharePoint, and then we want to utilize that how we can use. Let me just uninstall this one as well just to avoid any confusions. So I'm not going to again write the entire code, but I will just simply go into one of the agent that I have created. So we already have seen like when we go for creating the resume based agent in SharePoint, how that works. Similar to that, we have or we are creating the same agent experience via Teams Toolkit. So once you again create a Teams Toolkit, this is how it will look like. Let me just walk you through the files that we have got. So here, for example, if you compare the previous file, it had got only these instructions. But now that we have got new capability added here, and here you can see that the version is 1.2. So as I said, it has to be at least 1.19. So it is 1.2. So obviously I will be able to use agent capabilities here. So I'm adding the capabilities, and in the capabilities, I'm mentioning like what is the data source that it should refer to. So this is the data source that it should refer to, OneDrive and agent. And this is the same SharePoint site where we had those resumes and we had created this agent. Okay, so but now that we are going to see how we'll be able to create the same experience using Teams Toolkit. Okay, all right. So same thing. Again, in the instructions, we are mentioning about declarative agent created with Teams Toolkit, and you should response with thanking the users and all those things. That's it. So we don't have anything fancy here. In the manifestation, again, same thing. This is the Copilot agent capability that we are adding here. And these are the two images that we have got, the out of the box images. If in case you want to change it, you can do that as well. Okay, so to run this agent, let me again go back to the Teams Toolkit and let me click provision. So what it will do is it will provision that agent onto my Microsoft 365 to the tenant which I have already logged in here. So here I have logged into my Microsoft 365 tenant. So right now we are on to the fifth step of fifth. So that means it should have done. So usually it doesn't take more than a minute to get it deployed, or even I will say just 20 to 30 seconds that it takes to do that. So and uh, this is a summary. Everything has been configured. So let us go back to the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Let us refresh it. And okay. And here you can see that this is the agent that we have got, like Career Genie. Okay. So this is the agent that we have been using. So probably we can ask some questions like, can you suggest candidate who are expert in Python? So I'm not sure whether I have any Python resumes in that SharePoint site, but okay, there are. So here you can see that it was able to find few things, and then once I click here, it should take me to that resume file which contains the user who has got the Python experience. Okay, so for example, if I just open it, this is the user or the um, candidate who has got the Python experience. Okay, so this is kind of an agent that we'll be able to create if in case you want to do it with customization. Another kind of an agent that probably you can create is with Graph Connector. So Graph Connector is again one thing by which you will be able to get the external data sources into your Microsoft 365. So let's say, for example, if I go into the admins, so the simple example here is like, for example, you have got ServiceNow tickets, or you are working with any of the external sources or external information, and you do not want your users to switch the context, go to that application, for example, ServiceNow or Workday or anything else, to search for the information. You want to enable them to answer the questions related to that system from Microsoft 365 itself. We do create this something called as graph connector. Okay, so now that, for example, if I go into the search and intelligence, this is where I do have the data sources, and in this data sources, I have one data source created as REST countries. So REST countries is nothing but an API that we have got, so which we can use. So let me just show you, like if I go for REST countries, so this is nothing but an API, so that we'll be able to use REST countries. And then here you can see that, for example, if you want to get all of the countries, this is the endpoint that we can use, REST countries slash v3.1 slash all, and it will give us all of the countries that we have got in this world. Okay, so this is nothing but a JSON format that we have got. So what I did is, like, I passed this JSON. I added all this information to my search, Microsoft 365 search, and here you can see that I have indexed almost 247 countries here. Now that I'm going to create a Copilot on top of it, so that, let's say, for example, I'm traveling to any of the country, I want to know more about that country, I can use that. Okay, so let's say for that I will open up the REST countries code that I have written already. Probably we will save time not to rewrite the code. So here you can see that we have the capabilities, which is a graph connector, and then this is the connector ID that you can get from here. So this is the connector ID that you can see, highlighted one. So this is the graph connector ID that we can use, and then that's it. Whenever we will run this, it is going to give us the information for that from here. Okay, so let me just go back to Copilot. I think I already have it installed, so probably I will not click the provision button one more time. Um, and I will ask, like, tell me about Dodoma. Okay, so if in case you know Dodoma, you can guess it before the agent replies. But Dodoma is the capital city of Tanzania, and then you can see that this is the citation that we have got. That means it is being, this information is coming from an external sources, and that source is nothing but this race country API that we have it created. Okay, so these are few kind of an cool demos that we can create with this. All right, so I guess that's all we wanted to cover. If in case there are any questions, we still have 5 more minutes remaining. But anyways, thank you very much for joining us on Saturday, and thank you very much, Delhi community, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, both Nanddeep and Smita. It's an excellent talk. Guys, if you have any queries, please post it in the chat. We have a few minutes. And if you want to ask, please unmute yourself. You can speak.
Or if in case you have a question later on, these are our social media handlers, so you can reach
Yes.
out to us anytime.
Hi, Anubhav. Yes. Abhinav, can you join?
Hey, Nanddeep, I wanted to understand any licensing implications around it.
Yeah, so licenses, as I said, you will need Microsoft 365 license, E3 or E5, or maybe even anything which covers Copilot. So for declarative agent to run, you will need Microsoft 365 Copilot license. For example, if you are creating the agents with Copilot Studio, there we don't need Microsoft 365 Copilot license, but here you will need that because for example, if I again go back here and if I go to the manifestation, so here we are not specifying anything. So that means we are using the native capabilities of our Microsoft 365 Copilot. So again, there is no clear documentation about which LLM is being used in the background to answer this. But definitely that is the LLM which is being used to answer the questions. And just my wild guess is, like, since I do not see microphone icon here, this is definitely not GPT-4o, but this is just my wild guess.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for Nanddeep.
Yeah, thank you. And again, for example, if you see here, we do have thumbs up, thumbs down. So when you will do this thumbs up, thumbs down, this information will be passed back to the agent to answer the further questions. So let's say, for example, if I do a thumbs up here, that means I like this, and then probably next subsequent kind of an answers, this particular response will be referred to.
Yeah, nice. So if you have any queries, Nanddeep's and Smita's LinkedIn profile is there. So please connect after this. Maybe if you have anything, something to discuss on the declarative agents.
Sure, definitely. And once again,
Thank you.
thank you everyone, and have a
Thank you
nice
so
rest of
much,
the conference.
Nanddeep. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Smita, for
thank you,
continuous
thank you,
speaking with the lead community. Thank you so much. Looking forward for
thank you,
more
thank you.
support. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.